Don't mention your move before you make a move. Hello everyone, my name is Vikram Sharma and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. The topic that I brought for you today is deep state, a state within a state. Now we need to understand about what does deep state mean. Now deep state are the organizations or agencies of the government which are having a high influence, very big influence on the working of the state. They are like secret organizations. Like we can say that a spy agency could also be a deep state. However, a spy agency is a hidden as well as the invisible force. But in the context of Pakistan, it is a deep state. Deep state is like a parallel government. It will intervene with the regular aspect of the affairs, and whatever the major decisions the state has to undertake, that will be taken on the behalf of the state by the organization called as a deep state. So now we need to understand that what does deep state mean. Organizations such as military, police, political groups are said to work secretly in order to protect particular interests and to rule a country without being elected. The institutions which are not elected, which are selected, okay, they bypass the democratically elected government and they rule the nation, like the military. The military, through its propaganda, through its ideology, it will rule the entire country. The people will think that the politician is ruling the country. Indirectly, the military is ruling that country. But it is not the example in context of India. India is a very democratic nation. Spy agencies. So that's why deep state is a invisible as well as very much influential. Let's move to the other topic. How Pakistan is a deep state. Yes, Pakistan is a deep state. Now the question arises that how it is a deep state, because into the Pakistan, the government is merely a rubber stamp government. There is no provision of prime minister. Who will be the prime minister? It is not a matter. The final decision will be taken by the spy agency of Pakistan, that is the ISI, Inter-Services Intelligence. The full form of the ISI is, I'm telling you again, Inter-Services Intelligence, as well as the Pakistani Army. Like you can see that during the time period of the 1970s to 80s, the Zia-ul-Haq, he overthrew the government. Okay, we have seen the time period of the 1999 to 2000, the General Pervez Musharraf of the Pakistani Army, he overthrew the democratically elected government of the Nawaz Sharif. So into the Pakistan, democracy is only on the papers. Everything on the behalf of government will be decided by the ISI as well as the army. I will give you a very recent example of May 9th of May 2023, that how the Pakistani army arrested and took the Imran Khan, the ex-prime minister of the Pakistan. After all, he is the prime minister. You cannot just take him just like that only. So from this, we can easily understand that Pakistan is a deep state. Every major decision of the country will be taken with the consent of the ISI as well as the army. So it is, that's why I've told you that there is no democracy into the Pakistan. Democracy is just like rubber stamp. Democracy is only on the papers. Every decision into the Pakistan is taken by the Pakistani army as well as the ISI. Now you think about this, that if there could be a proper democratically government, our government could talk with them. Now how we could talk with the Pakistani army chief? It is not practically possible for us. How we'll talk with the ISI chief? How many of you know about that? Who is the current RAW chief? That is the Spy Agency of India, Research and Analysis Wing. Who is the current? Most of us are not knowing about that. Most of us will write on the Google now that who is the current RAW chief of India, or we will go on the Wikipedia to check about that. But we are not knowing about that currently. So it means that this is a separation of the Spy Agency of India and the government of India, or the democracy. You see, the Indian army, it does not interfere with any of the government work. There is a complete separation of power. So Pakistan is completely, it is a very significant example in the present time period that Pakistan is a deep state. The other example that we are having in the present time period, I am not, because I have read a lot of text over this, I have read a lot of books over this, that at some places it is said that USA is also a deep state, United States of America, because there are three lobbies which are having a direct influence into the working of US. The first is the capitalist, the MNCs, the Apple, the Zuckerberg, the 14 rich families of the USA. Then after that, this Intel, Microsoft, GMC, defense companies, Northrop Grumman. Then after that, the Raytheon, General Dynamics, or you consider about the Lockheed Martin. Then the Pentagon, USA's defense headquarters, as well as the Jewish lobby. It is said that the Jews are having a very big stake into the USA. The Jews are scattered throughout the world. They are quite a minority we can consider about. They have faced a lot of torture. They have undergone a lot of persecution throughout the world by their own country, by Russia, Germany, Hitler. We have seen all this, but they are largely concentrated into the United States. At present, other than the Israel, maximum Jews are located into the United States. So these three institutions, the capitalist is like we consider about, even after so many of the killings of the children into the USA, you calculate all the killings of the children of the USA during the tenure of the Biden from last 4 years, 3 to 4 years, you will find about that how many children are killed in the school firing. And despite after that, the Biden cannot control the gun lobby of the USA because the capitalists never let them control about that. The other is the Pentagon. It is the US's defense headquarters. The US's defense headquarters takes all major decisions on the defense lobby. Every defense decision will be taken by the Pentagon. Nobody can interfere with that. Sometimes even it can supersede the decision of the US president. And the Jewish lobby, they are having some great relation. I cannot speak too much about that. But yes, the Jewish lobby is having a very high influence over the USA's internal as well as the external affairs. Okay, so that is the USA's deep state. So I think so you are clear with the entire of the lecture. I tried to provide my ideas that what is the deep state, how does it work about, and what are the parameters related with that. India is not a deep state. Here we are having a complete separation of the army as well as the Indian army is one of the respectable and one of the most civilized army of the world. It never interfere with the politics or the democracy of the country. They never intervene with this. They maintain a separation. They are very much civilized in nature. We are having a utmost respect and love towards our army as well as the tri-forces. Like it is not like the Pakistani army. Even we cannot compare. Indian army, USA's army, these are very much civilized army of the world. The Pakistani army cannot even stand with the Indian army. So at that time, you can say about it that there is a complete separation of the power throughout the world, even into the India. Then after the spy agency, Indian spy agency never interfere with the regular work of the India. So this makes a difference that how India is why India is developing so much, because there is a clear-cut difference. There is no intervention of the other power into the regular affairs of the state. Okay, in India, democracy is not only on the papers. In India, the democracy, the freedom of speech and expression, the freedom to form the associations, it is into the blood of the people of this country. We are sovereign in nature. We are democratic in nature. We have developed a society which is called as a society which is filled with fraternity. However, we have seen some fracturedness also, but despite we are trying very much hard over here. So India is one of the finest countries in the world in the form of the democracy, and we are a state, and a state is the march of God on earth. I am very much thankful to all of you for listening to me. God bless you all.